Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's 2021. Thank you, everyone that's been waiting. Thank you for joining. It's Jaren Dorman here, Design Community Manager here at Gravity Sketch, and it's great to be on the other side of 2020 with all of you, and looking forward to a new year of a lot of new things and a lot of new things around the corner for Gravity Sketch. We've got some new features coming around the corner into this month, and I just want to thank everybody for your support. We're going to be going free, and the whole Gravity Sketch team just really appreciates your support and just the amazing stuff that you guys do. So, so I just want to kick off the first live stream of 2021. We were a bit inspired from Pharrell. He challenged Cake Bikes to custom build a bike for him that was painted all yellow. And so we're going to try and create that today in Gravity Sketch. So that's what we're doing. And we're going to use a lot of different techniques, some sub-D, some primitives, I'm sure, and just all the good stuff. So I've already prepared some reference images using LandingPad and just accessing my files here to the cloud and just pulling them in my scene here. I actually have the sort of the beta version of Gravity Sketch that we're going to be putting out soon. Just a few of the new features. Thought I could just show or tease some of them to you guys and show you them. We're going to do more in-depth show and tell of these new features. One of which is actually a new lobby, but I've chosen not to show that today and wait for a more in-depth demo of that, since that is a little more involved, showcasing a lot of the new things that we've updated with that. So let me just make sure I can see the comments coming through too. A lot of you have asked, at least I've seen this question a lot in the community, which is how you guys can watch these videos or watch just anything while you're working inside Gravity Sketch. And there's a pretty simple solution if you're using Oculus. And I think particularly you have to be connected to a desktop, so I don't think this quite works for Quest untethered. But if you tether your Quest to your desktop and it supports VR, you can do this, which is when you press your home button, which is a little button down here in the controller, and you can't see it right now, but it brings up a menu, and there's a virtual desktop button, and you can mirror your desktop window in VR. And then what you can do is you go down the bottom right, there's a little pin icon, and it says pin to experience. And so if you click that pin, when I exit out of the menu and I'm just now in Gravity Sketch sketching around, that window stays inside of the Gravity Sketch app. Now you can't see it right now because Oculus doesn't allow you to screen share that. You can't really actually see it on the mirror screen right now. But trust me, it's there. I'm seeing my desktop right in front of me. It's what I use to look at all of your comments coming through. So, by the way, let me know. There's some music going on in the background. If it's too loud, let me know. I can turn it down. Let me know if you can hear me right. But everything should be working properly. So, without further ado, let's just get started. And feel free to ask questions, make some comments during the live. I'll be checking those periodically and try to answer all of your questions. So why don't we just anchor those? I'm going to do that. So we're going to be making this cake bike, and if none of you have heard of it, this is what it looks like. And it's basically just an electric motorbike, and it's pretty cool. It's modular design. So there's, if you read online, there's like tons of different combinations of things you can do for these bikes. And there's all kinds of different actually like styles. This is just the style that Pharrell has, the most common one if you go and search them online. But feel free to go to the website. We're going to link in the description as well, link to their website. But if you just search Cake electric bikes, you'll find them. Anyway, they're pretty cool, and should be pretty straightforward to make in Gravity Sketch without getting too crazy into the details there. But yeah, so I think what I want to do is I want to take one of these side view ones here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the world axis just so I can see where I'm at in space. And I'm just going to snap that right to the center axis here. And then I'm going to lower these so the wheels are actually touching the ground. And I'm actually going to try and do this at a true scale. So bring this human in, and this person is at 1:1 at the moment. So I'm going to actually flip this around and just going to scale it up, make it closer to 1:1. Probably needs to be bigger than that. We got like a sort of a reference here too as far as size goes. That seems about right. We're not really going for super accuracy today on scale, just trying to recreate it, but that looks kind of, actually let me look at that again. I think I actually deleted it, but I'm just gonna grab that. Basically, I'm trying to figure out if he was standing, where would that come up to his hip? Probably like, looks like it comes about right there. So we'll just go with that, and I think that'll be good. Maybe a little smaller. Yeah, that's good. Cool. So yeah, and like always, I've done this many times in the lives, but we're just gonna like basically just make a reference layer, and then we're gonna take all these images, just place them in that layer, and that way when we hide it, we can control that visibility there. So as a matter of fact, make a separate layer called ortho, place that in there, because we want the ortho to be kind of transparent, but we still want to see the reference images pretty clearly. So I think first things first is just to get some rough sketching going. I like to use like a bright color usually, and I'm actually going to make another layer. Just call that sketch. And I'm actually going to turn on planar mode for this. Actually, you know what? I'm not, because I don't want to mess with all that. So for now, I'm just going to sketch side view. I'm going to turn on the mirror, which is not on. Now it is. Just making some really fluid shapes here. I'm actually going to put that human on another layer too. Human. Turn it off, because we really actually don't need that. That's probably just going to be for the end. We just needed it in the beginning so that we could get a sense of scale on our scene. Got bar that goes around the sides. There is going to be some guesswork as far as like some of the dimensions of this bike. It's going to be a lot of eyeballing. But we're going to get it. We're going to get it looking proper. So just trying to like make some of these important forms here in the beginning. Obviously got the front forks here. And we'll have to figure out just how wide that is. I was thinking about bringing another bike in here for reference, like a 3D model of a bike, but I just didn't think it really needed to be that. We need to go that complex. Get this back bar here. And so what we're doing is we're just kind of sketching this out so that we can take what's on this 2D image and pull it out, basically pull out the essential lines, the essential shapes of this design, and actually literally pull them out. I'm gonna actually lock that layer and literally pull them out like this, so we can actually get some dimension to our bike and then continue manipulating it. So we got a few more details up here, handlebars. These are good to just reference so that, you know, we've got the handlebar here, and we pull it out, we got that circle, we can see how much it actually curves, which is helpful. So we got a bunch of other reference images here to see just what all that looks like. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then we're gonna go ahead and just make these tires, these wheels, and take the revolve tool here, line it up, get it right about the center, line her up there. All right, that's good. And these wheels are not just tubes, they have some form and shape to them, so I'm just gonna try and get that as accurate as possible. Change that to like a dark, really dark color. Move it inwards. And the rear tire is always a little thicker, so got that. And there we go. I mean, we've blocked in the bike basically, and I don't know how long that took, but not very long. I think I've covered this before, but obviously we're going to continue sketching here, probably use some other revolves. I mean, like right now. Well, I think probably what the best thing is to do is we want to make these forks, right? So let's say we want to get like this here and then maybe make it reflective to make these forks. We don't want to just take our axis and try and line it up, because right now there's not really a great way to make sure this axis is perfectly like vertical and everything. So what we want to do is actually start vertically like that, and then we take our tool belt, let's see, activate tool belt. So there's a little menu here. Take our tool belt and rotate it. That way it's vertically correct and it's got that angle that we need there. take that tube and extend it. So I'm just thinking here. That's one way we could do the tube. We could also do like a primitive cylinder, and that's already perfectly vertical, and it's perfectly the same radius from end to end. And then we can always convert that to a sub-D object after. So I think that's probably going to be our best option actually. So let's just make two, pull out our tool belt, rotate it. We can still manipulate it. We're just gonna make sure it's following it's the right thickness. You can adjust the thickness really easily. That's the beauty of this tool, this primitive tool here. Just gonna move it up and over. That'll be good for now. Cool. And so there's our forks. And then, as I said, we can always convert that to sub-D if you want to start adding some detail and a bunch of crazy stuff. So let's just start pulling out the rest of the sketch. We're going to grab this, pull it out, roughly there. I feel like that's a good average thickness to pull it out. And then we're just going to take these reference images and start to try to match what's going on here. So I'm going to take, I think this image is pretty helpful. I'm going to anchor that. Let's see what else we got. This one's also pretty helpful as well. Yeah, I'm just going to focus on the back first. I'm just going to take these two, anchor that, and then let's try and match this up here. So it's pretty squared off the back. So we're just gonna finish it off. Down. And it looks like the seat, I'm going to turn up the ortho just a little bit so I can see more. Yeah, so the seat actually ends back, actually ends right here. Back to my sketch layer, yeah. Actually ends right here. So we're just going to take this sketch, move it back. There, delete that because we don't really need that. We got this slope here. There we go. And then this piece is just more like a thin lip that comes out. And it's kind of a little bit less wide. Looks like it ends right about here. I'm Just gonna lower it. There. And then this piece connects to the, like that. Simplify that. Okay, looking good. Nice. I'm just gonna square this off. Bring that in a little bit more. Cool. The nice thing about this bike is it's pretty square, so the shapes are pretty simple. I think I probably started pretty wide on this seat, so I think it needs to come in. I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit. I think this looks more correct. And then we'll just adjust center point there a little as needed. Bring this in, and this comes in a lot more. Bring that in. All right, that's looking more accurate to the original design. Cool. Bring that in. So we're just adjusting these curves, adjusting these strokes to make them more accurate. And so what it seems like is everything kind of stays the same width here, and all through here. And then where it really starts to come out and change dimension is here. So this area is wider, but everything else pretty much stays the same width, it seems, at least from this angle. It might taper a little bit overall, not sure, but we're just going to go ahead and assume that all of this is the same width, which makes it pretty straightforward, makes it pretty simple. So cool. So if that's true, I'm just going to make sure all of this is then at the same width, since we determined that this seat width here is the width that we're looking for. And then it seems like right here it cuts in to that center. I don't know all the motorcycle electric bike jargon, but I'm just going to say the center rod. Bring that down. That. So it looks like this cuts down like this. Let's try and simplify that. Nice. All right, seems pretty well defined there. We don't really need that piece anymore. Okay. And so we've got this broken up here. It looks like it's different parts, pieces. I'm just going to shrink this stroke, make it more consistent with the rest of the strokes. It's looking good. We've got this other piece down here. So while I'm doing this, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to make all of this, how it's going to be constructed. So I want to look for where that change is. Looks like the crease starts here, bends down around there, where this white box starts about midway through. So we're just going to create some points here. Bow that out. Let's see. Another point. Okay. Make a point here. And then make a point, make 3 points here. And the reason why I'm doing 3 points is because that seems to give a real sharp edge, so when we pull this out, it will look, it'll be pretty machined looking. Just delete that one. And that continues all the way down to the bottom here. And then I'm just going to duplicate this line. So this is basically the same line. Got a little bit of change there. So we're really just starting to really define our forms. Looks like this comes in just a little bit. And pretty soon we're just going to be getting into the sub-D side of things, which after that it moves a little bit quicker. We're just doing more of the work now so that we can know exactly where everything's going to be placed. Let's just move this back, make sure this is properly aligned. So we can move this line back. Looking good. And from the looks of it, these forks are pretty close together, so I'm going to be more, let's say, in here. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it looks about right. Looking good. Just making sure we're not missing anything. Looks like we've got an inner cage here, an inner structure. I don't know the full shape of it. We're just going to have to hint at it. But what I'm referring to here is the this piece here. And I think it's probably part of this bar as well. And it looks like that's the chassis or the supporting structure for the bike. And then there's like this outer sort of frame as well, which probably also acts as support, but also the cosmetic side of the bike as well. So we're just gonna have to hint at some of these things. I don't know the full shape or form of a lot of these sort of these cages, structures, but we're just gonna make what we see. And might have to skip through some of this stuff just because it would take a long time. And we might not really have enough time to make an actual chain. Might just have to be a stroke for this live stream, but yeah, just gonna keep moving forward. Let me just double check some comments in case you guys have any thus far. Feel free to ask any questions throughout the live if you have any. It's okay, looking good. Keep moving forward here. Let me just go here. One thing, so this is probably a good opportunity to show just a new feature that we are going to be releasing end of this month-ish in Gravity Sketch. No definite date yet, but it is called Viewpoints, and it's this icon here. It just looks like a human head at the bottom of the tools here. We just click that, and so now we're in Viewpoints mode. And so basically, so if we go into this scale here, we can see that the camera that we placed. And in order to move it, we actually need to, oopsies. Okay, that's the next feature I'm going to show you here in a minute. But so we have the camera, and in order to move it, we actually have to go into edit mode. So you notice if I grab it and move it around, it just snaps back to where it was before. So and actually, in order to move it, we need to go into edit mode, and now we can position it around our scene like so. We can also click the name and rename it. I can just call it back, and then we can even control the focus, the angle of the lens that's looking at the object, and we can take a screenshot, everything. Just click the check mark when you're done, and so you have that viewpoint saved. And what I can do is I can just click another one, and now I have another viewpoint. And so what's cool is you can click the viewpoint tool here again, and it gives you the menu, and you can just click through these different viewpoints in your scene. You can see there the names of them will pop up, and as you click them, it will just swap you through the different viewpoints. So it's really useful for if you're presenting your designs to clients or to other team members. It's a great way to place viewpoints in a scene to get them to look at specific areas of your design, especially if there's a lot of parts, a lot of complex areas to assess. And then these viewpoints translate to LandingPad. So when you look at this, when you save this model online and you go on LandingPad to look at it on your web browser, you're going to see the viewpoints there as well, and you can click through them on your web browser and basically zoom around your model, these different specified points. So it's really useful for that. sort of another update is basically normals for strokes. So you've all been familiar with this mode where you can twist your, control the normals and the angle of your strokes. But a new addition, sort of been updated now to where when you are in that mode, it shows you a highlighted streak following your stroke, and basically that is showing you the actual normal direction of the stroke, so you can more accurately line things up and really see how something is lined up. So, for example, this stroke is basically a tube, and it's kind of hard to see how the how the normals go. But once you go into this mode, you can very clearly see how the normals twist and turn and how you can manipulate them. So that's a new, I would say, like an evolution on the stroke manipulation. Okay. So let's just keep moving forward here. I'd say we could probably get right into Sub D. We could continue sketching things out, but let's just get right into Sub D, and then we can build from there and just continue working. So we're just going to do that. So I'm going to first make this front piece because I think this will help inform a lot of the other pieces. And the piece that I'm referring to is this piece here. I think that's going to help us get through everything else. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm just going to call it what do I want to call this? I'm just going to call it OB for outer body 1. And we're just going to call it that. And so what we've got here is a shape that is very conducive, I would say, to quads. So what we're going to do is first looking at how we make it. So we're going to cut off. Actually, want to define this stroke a little bit more so I can know exactly what I'm doing. So there we go. And that's the piece. And that needs to go in. Okay. Yeah, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go into Sub D mode, Subdivision Surface, change it to, I guess, a gray color. And I'm just going to be referencing this image to make sure that we're doing it right. Essentially, we just want to build it low poly first. So there is a hole here, and probably should draw that as well. And that's going to go into the sketch, color it, twist it, pull it down. And there we are. So what we're going to do is Sub D, we're just going to quad build this this down. Actually, continue around the circle. That's proper way to do it. There we go. Sub-D modeling and Gravity Sketch really helped me understand how to properly model things in subdivision modeling. It was something I didn't quite understand too well when I was trying to learn it in school. But since Gravity Sketch implemented it into the program, and I really started making things in Sub-D, I started understanding, oh, okay, it's really kind of like a puzzle. And you're just kind of trying to find the most efficient path, the most efficient way to connect things together. And once you understand the principles, it becomes very, very easy, very, very fast. You start to see everything as you could start building it in 3D. And so, that's... Just going to build it like that. Pull that down. Okay. And then we've got sort of this bit here. And so it's following that path, which is what we want, which is good. So I'm just going to make sure that's flattened out there. Turn off edge loops. And trust me, when it all gets smoothed out, you'll see it come together. Pull that forward. And we're just going to pull that down. Fill it in. See how that's shaping up. Okay, I'm just going to complete the rest of this. I'm actually going to make another layer and call it forks. Those are kind of getting in the way of, it's probably going to get in the way of a lot of stuff. So we're just going to turn that off for now and continue working. So I'm just connecting these pieces. we are. Now we need to kind of align this back to make it right angle. Nice. And so if we turn off sketch or hide it a little bit and we smooth this out, you'll see that it gives us that shape that we're looking for. This shape here, this form. And what we can do is add some sharpness because we designed it that way. So there we go. And because this piece has dimension to it, we'll have to, let's see, grab that edge loop there. I'm just thinking how best to do this. Yeah, so probably something like that. Turn off edge loops again. Get that thickness it needs. And then once we extrude these pieces out, actually let's pull this over here, yeah. Pull this down, connect it to the bottom, then we have a nice corner. And there we go. It's really starting to take shape now. So if you ever want to smooth any of this out, maybe there's a little bit of rippling going on here, this is a great time to show an update to the Subd tool menu. So we got this shape here. Before, when you press the Subd button, which is the hammer and paintbrush here, it would pop up a shelf with a bunch of tools that you would grab, and people just got frustrated with that because they would let go of the tool, and then they couldn't really grab another one until they until they put the other one back or deleted the other one, and sometimes it'd be floating in space. And basically the tool would just be left floating wherever you let go of it at. So it just was very cumbersome, didn't make sense. So now the tool is just a button that you hold and you just hover to the tool you want. So say I want the smooth tool, I just let go and now I can start smoothing things. It's great. So, and then if you want to go to cut, just start cutting. Crease, start creasing, and so on and so forth. And so it's just a much faster way to access the Subd tools. And it also some of the interaction of the tools have been improved. Like the accuracy of the crease tool, which was some feedback from a lot of people. So, we do hear your feedback. We do really appreciate all the thoughts that you give from the community, and it really helps guide us as to what needs to be better in Gravity Sketch, what can be improved. So it's always welcome. In our internal company chat, we're always sharing feedback from people in the community, things that people are saying. So you are definitely being heard by the team. So I'm just going to try and finish up this piece here. Really don't know how it looks down here at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter because we don't really see it. So I'm just going to try and finish it up. There. Don't really need that extra detail, so we're just gonna do that there. And that would be good. Yeah. So as you add detail, as you've noticed, probably some of you working in Sub D, as you add detail, it just gets more complex. So be mindful about your surfaces and where detail is being added. So like for example, we've got let's see here. I need to figure this out. This is a little bit confusing. Ah, yes, I see. So we need to actually finish the detail that way. Oh, still a weird result. Let's see. And then connect it this way. I wonder if we have a 5-sided deal going on here. See the issue. I guess I don't see the issue yet. I'm sure it'll come to me. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just don't have enough pieces here. I guess it wasn't just connecting all the loops were not flowing yet. So we just got ourselves into a little bit of a weird spot there. I think you can probably just bring that in, honestly. Fold it in, since we really won't see any of that. And then make sure we're doing this right. Yeah, looks good. And then I'm just going to get the smooth tool here and just make sure this is all relaxed. These smooth surfaces. Cool. And then when I get this little loop in here. So you could spend, in order to 3D print this, you could close this all up and then you could 3D print it. So it's, totally capable of doing that. But you can see this is the part that we've made. And it's looks pretty much like the real part there. And we just got some bolts. You can grab like a simple cylinder. Lighter color. Something like that. And then, yeah, so I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. Cool. So there it is, that one piece. Right, I'm going to turn on orthos again, and we're just going to keep moving forward. So we've got another piece here. So we're just gonna pretty much go into sub D. Go back to that color. All right, how is this subdivided? Okay, it's got one going down the center, so that's fine. And we're going to turn our sketch on. Actually, it might even be faster just to like build out the rough geometry, not even smooth it. and just build all of that out first. So we're gonna go layers, turn on sketch. There we go. Now thicken that up. And then this makes a hard transition here. Pull that down, beautiful. And then let's move on. So we've got the seat. So the seat is another piece that's lighter. So we're gonna like start with that. That would be our seat. Pull those pieces together. Bam, seat. Done. Not done, but you know, it's there. So I feel like I'm getting too much of the details in the beginning. So we're just gonna keep fleshing it out just like that. No big deal. Not get worried about the details quite yet. And then so that piece continues all the way down. And then we just have like basically what looks like another piece on the inside there, but it doesn't continue all the way. Stopped about there. Name it or make it a lighter color. And it's actually going to see right where that change happens, right there. Looks like connects there. And this piece actually ends here. There we go. Nice. Got this bar. Interesting. Just looking how all this flows. Looks like this bar kind of comes here, flows all the way around. Just trying to kind of understand how it all breaks down. So we're just going to make that bar and go back to sub D. I don't want to mess with that subdivision yet. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to try and make this white piece because this looks like it's going to take a minute too. So, but it seems pretty straightforward. So we're going to grab that. just want to look at it. Okay, and the side, okay, this side view is probably the best. So turn on, make that a little bit more opaque. And it looks like it does a similar thing. So I think if we just take subdivision surface, we just start drawing it out. Just gonna get rid of that. Pull that out of there. Extrude here. Extrude again. Extrude again. Extrude here. Like that. Extrude that down. Extrude that up. Nice. I mean, that's pretty much the shape. Look at the side view here. Looks like that tapers. Maybe we can follow this a little more accurately if we ghost it. Try and ghost it. Subdivide that, pull that down. That looks about right. Perfect. Bring that back up. Now we just gotta kind of finesse it, make sure it's all obeying all the angles that we've already established here. I don't really know how it terminates back here, so I'm just gonna cover it there. And then all right, there we go. Now, if we smooth it, should get results we want. Let me get a front view so I can see what this looks like from the front. And there it is, pretty much. Okay. Yeah, we needed that as well. So we weren't getting any weird results there. Ah, yes, I see. So this comes back down again. I think it is here. Okay. Starting to understand this piece now. Okay. And then we should just be able to continue this around. Okay, it's probably going to be a little wonky, but I'm just going to turn on the, so if we get that there, okay, I think we've got it down to where it needs to be. Connect those. just need to sharpen this edge. Smooth that out. That is tight there. Get that not tight. One more edge loop here is needed. It's a little rough, but we're just going for speed here. Different lighting angle here. Try to extrude that outward. Just try and complete the shape. Very kind of interesting form, this piece here. Cool beans. All right, so just looking over this, making sure it looks good. Now we can continue moving forward. I'm just going to take this piece and use it as the bike piece here. Okay. And then let's just go ahead and also use that for this back mud guard. Nice. Use these. Turn off the ortho just to see how everything's looking. Turn off the sketch. This is our geometry so far. It's coming along. I'm just going to recycle this again. Made that bar, and then let's see what else we got. Got this cube in the center. So we got another cube, and that's probably going to be darker color. Move this up. So just trying to block out the major areas, major forms. Put that back. Actually not that thick. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So this needs to extrude down, and then we're going to extrude again, connected this way. Go. Do the same thing on this side, basically. Just following pattern. I'm going to smooth this that there. It's always fun building something out in low poly and then smoothing it and then adding the subdivisions to see it really come to the final design, the intended look. Okay, just gonna move this down. And then we're just gonna add a subdivision here. Connect these. Connect these down here. And there we go. And then I'm going to make sure the seat is lining up correctly. Smooth that. Good. Really comes to a point there, so just making sure we're doing that. Delete that. I don't think 5-sided surface works out well there, so we'll just have to use it. Spread out the density. Cool. There we go. Smooth that out. Nice. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Scaling, moving up. Making sure all the detail is kept. it. Oops. Grab that, connect it there. Nice. So we're just finessing the geometry, making sure everything is connected. Nice. So now this was inspired by Pharrell originally, so that means this bike needs to be yellow. So we're going to be making it yellow very soon. I'm going to do that. And then we're just going to close it up. Just as simple. Nice. Okay. Now let's just smooth it. There we go. This will be like a brighter yellow slightly. There we go. Try a different environment to see if we can get a different look. This looks nice. Let's turn on the ortho again here. Looks like this battery actually comes out a little farther. So it's this black bar here. And I'm going to grab some front views just to see what I can understand here. Okay. This is helpful. Got it. Okay. Just learning more and more as we move forward with this. So I'm going to turn those forks back on. And we're going to make sure the yellow matches a little more. I'm going to shorten that. Okay. I'm going to take a cylinder here. Convert it to sub-D. Delete maybe these three. Stroke tool, maybe a couple of lines of text here. I need the cake logo. It's actually one thing I didn't grab. I was on the internet. Let me just check some comments here. Kind of got a little bit carried away. See, I wish I could import the fabricated model without the lags. Here's the model. Show the model. Calvin Kim, so are you talking about when you're trying to import a large model, it takes a minute for the model to preview, and then it takes time to actually import it into the scene? Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, so if that's what you're talking about, yeah, just the process behind that is pretty much the file is in the file system, and then when you select it, previewing it is, yeah, it takes time because you need to. It's basically a way for you to see the model before you actually want to bring it into your scene. So so the kind of the benefit behind that is if it is a big model like you're talking about, but maybe you have like a bunch of them and you don't really know which one it is, you import it, but you don't know what it looks like. Then you just spent a bunch of time waiting for something to import, and then it wasn't even the right model. So the preview is kind of necessary for you to know what you're bringing in. I guess generally you probably could, if we did away with getting rid of the preview step, then I guess you just need to really make sure that you named your files so you know exactly what you're opening. But the preview is really there just so you can see what you're bringing in before you bring it in. Yeah, just the size of models, if they're especially dense in mesh and in dense in information, then it's just going to take longer to bring to the scene. As with any program, this happens to all 3D programs. So just keep in mind, try to optimize your models when you bring them in. But it's a great thought, and we can certainly talk about it in the team and find if there's maybe a better experience for importing. I think as well as computers get more powerful and as Gravity Sketch becomes more powerful, I think that that process will be even more streamlined for sure. But thank you for your comment. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to finish up these forks here. I don't know if I really want to get into too much of this engineering of all these, of the brakes and all that stuff, just for the sake of time. but I think that if we can just get the basics down, that would be great. So I'm going to go into planar mode here and just line this up in the bottom. And I'm going to try and fill in some of these shapes. Oops. So just taking these parts, duplicate, it's more of a temporary solution there, but okay. Looks like there's another box down the bottom here. So we're just going to duplicate that. There we go. Right. Okay. Now we're just going to try and grab some more of these bolts here. Place them where they are supposed to be placed. Okay. Great. All right, let's just move along here. So we're going to extrude this over. And I think we're just going to duplicate that, shorten it. So we've got like an extra piece here. Just gonna make it black, dark color there, and then let's see, turn the forks. Just realized the tires are actually on the sketch layer, so I'm gonna put the tires on that layer there. So this is where we're at so far. It's coming along. So we're going to go back into revolve mode here. And cool thing is if you lose your revolve, say the axis is out here, you can touch your selection sphere to a revolved object or an object with an axis and then continue working. So we're just going to do that. And we're gonna roll that in, and we're gonna make it yellow. And we're actually just gonna duplicate all of that. And that yellow, grab that, place it there. Looking nice. We're just going to subdivide. It's really efficient to take pieces from the sub-D model and just duplicate them instead of creating new pieces. It's just a faster way of working. I'm definitely doing like a simplified version of the bike, just because I just really couldn't do something this detailed in a reasonable time frame. I mean, obviously it can be done. As you can see, you really can spend as much time as you want in Gravity Sketch and get pretty amazing results. So it's just all depends on how much time you want to spend. So just going to sub D. Oops. There we are. Connect those together just so it's covered up. Looking nice. Just for fun, why don't we just do those knobs on the tires? So again, we can go to our strokes, and this is a fun thing. So we can go here, we can turn off end caps, polar symmetry. I'm gonna go like maximum 12 and decrease the size a little bit. And I am going to, well, first what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to make a revolved object. Oops. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna make a little cone here, or a little disc rather, I guess. And then I'm going to go back to the stroke. Like so. So what we can do is just draw them like that. And that is a way to do it. But I kind of want to try another way. And then we can do is add another layer and call it knob. Place that in the layer. Place the knobs in the layer. Lock everything else. And then basically group these. So that what we can do is duplicate. Oops. Duplicate. Take the rotation tool. Rotate it perfectly along the axis. And repeat the process. And there you go. And then what you can do is duplicate these. And position them kind of just messing around here, but I think probably the better way to do it is just to draw it. Oopsie daisy. there we go. Oops. Now we can take and line the axis up now. Bring those down. There we go. All right. Sorry that took so long. Okay. Now let's just go ahead and move right into the spokes. I'm going to attempt to make these properly. And we're going to turn end caps on. Round. Reduce down to 6. Okay. Trying to figure out how these repeat. Looks like they... Okay. Something like that. Never built spokes before, so I'm not quite sure, but it looks like they're doing something like this. And then I'm just going to take revolve tool, make some sort of disc thing here. Brake disc. Okay. Looks like this extrudes outward. Ortho, turn that on. Shrink that. Twist it. Really kind of eyeballing it, but probably shouldn't be. We'll figure that one out. So another bit is the shield guard. So I'm going to start with a cylinder, I think, as well. Try turning on the grid and see how that works. Okay, that's not bad. Turn off the grid. Convert it to sub D. Delete all the excess that we don't need. Okay. Nice. Okay. Don't need these front pieces. And this will slide over. this piece. Continue all the way down here to the side, which is cool. So what we're making right now is the mud guard. Okay, looks like the wheel needs to be brought back. Okay, smooth it out. Looks good. Same thing here. And why not have a yellow mud guard as well? Okay. And then we're just going to that, shrink it. Okay, that's going to be dark. Right. planer tool for this next bit. And I'm going to make it like a lighter gray. Just tighten up this shape here, connect it together. Bring it down over here. Change the shape of it. And then basically make another shape. Increase the thickness of it. There. So we definitely need another angle. Back here. I think if we just finish up the handlebars, will be good. Turn off the ortho just to see how everything's looking. So I just need like a front view, a good front view. This is pretty good. Actually, this is even better because this gives me a view of what it looks like from the rider's side. So we can get the bar. We can start actually with a cylinder for that. And so what I'm going to do here is get the rough shape, then immediately go into sub D and position this roughly where it should be. Delete that center part. Bring this out here. Oops. Up there. And bring the bar out this way. Okay. All right. Just assessing here. Okay. Look at this image. And I'm just going to go back into the planer tool and knock out the rest of this assembly. And then I'm going to add a block. Subdivide it. Nice. Just get some two knobs here. There we go. And so we're just going to make the handle. So I'm just going to grab this here. that like a white color. Close it off. That's the best way to close this off. Extrude that, and then we can just collapse all these points into this one point. Do this one by hand, but it would be cool to have a feature in Gravity Sketch that allows you to collapse holes or to close a hole. I think this might be a potential, this could be a potential evolution of a multi-selection tool. I know a lot of people in the community have asked about multi-selection, and the team is very aware of the want to have that. So I think it's just a matter of time before we can implement something like that. But I think collapsing something will probably come with being able to multi-select something, because you'll want to like multi-select edges or auto-detect edges that you want to, potentially collapse. And there we go. And so, yeah, that could totally be a thing. Just once again, I think probably a revolve tool in this case would be more helpful. Hand guard there. There we go. I mean, we can probably call it, I think, for today. There's just so much more detail that could be added here. Select this here. But let's just admire this for a minute. So what we've made here is a recreation of the bike from Cake. They make electric motorbikes, and really, really good ones. And we haven't completed the full bike, but we've blocked in most of the forms here. And essentially, we're just using a combination of sub-D modeling with some primitive forms, and then continuing in sub D or strokes. But I just want to thank everybody that's been watching, and I hope you learned something from watching our live. This is our first live of 2021, and just want to thank everybody again for your support and for all of your comments and your feedback and everything. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just check the comments. I haven't looked in a minute, so I just want to see if there's anything that people have been wondering about here. Awesome. Hey, thanks, Joe, for answering that question. Yeah, good to know. Yeah, so, yeah, it seems like that might be kind of a bug thing. So, workspace works. So I haven't been able to figure out how a shared workspace works on a Quest 2. Is it available for Quest 2? So you're probably talking about co-creation. So co-creation is currently only available for educational institutions or businesses at this time. We would love to offer it to people one day, and this is just going off the words of Daniel Thomas. If you want to hear more about thoughts on this from our chief tech officer, Daniel Thomas, he briefly touches on the future of Gravity Sketch and things that they want to do with the tool and features they want to offer. So I will watch that interview that we did. It was a few weeks back. Just search interview with CTO Daniel Thomas, and it'll be great, very informative. But yeah, eventually we'd love to provide that to people. It's just more of a technical limitations right now for that, and also just business strategy and everything. But yeah, so keep following us on updates on that. But yeah, that's pretty much where it is at this time as far as co-creation. But actually, to answer your question though, I just remembered you asked about Quest. It does work on Quest. So if you're, using Gravity Sketch untethered, and you have a Quest 2 in your team, your design team, everybody has Quests, you can all join in co-creation. So it works with Quest as well. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody again for watching and for joining. I hope you learned something. This is definitely pretty fun to make. I'm going to try some of these other environments here. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, so lots of different lighting scenarios there. But anyway, yeah, thanks again, everyone. And if you have any issues with Gravity Sketch, seems like some people are having difficulties, just contact support at gravitysketch.com, and they'll sort you out. But I want to thank you again. My name is Jaren Dorman, and thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your week.